Pat, what was the difference in the mentality and ultimately the execution today between this week?
Same mentality this week as last week. We just went into the game and we knew, if we played good ball from offense, defense, and special teams, like we preach each and every week, we're gonna have some opportunities on the defense to take the ball away. Our goal today was to put them in passing situations. Our goal every week is to put the quarterback in passing situations, and we were able to do that.
It was impossible not to notice A.J. Klein flying around. I mean, you guys both talked about the confidence you had in him, but how impressive to see him come out here and play the way he did today.
A.J. does that every time he gets his opportunity to go out there and play. A guy who's been, a guy who's been in the league a long time. He's been in this defense a long time. He's a guy who's who will go in there and he'll make plays. There's really no fall off with him going into the game. We're all confident in him. We trust him, and he had a hell of a game today.
Mike, is this what Sean McDermott meant about the way you guys have to play? It seemed like, I know you can't speak for the offense, but they attacked vertically, you attacked the football. Is this a better team when everybody's attacking, basically?
Yeah, for sure. We, like I said, the mindset each and every week doesn't change for us. We put the work in each and every week. You guys know it. You guys talk to us on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we say the same stuff. We go out there each and every week, practice hard, try to execute the game plan that we have, and that is always the game plan, attacking. And, sometimes we get put in situations where we can do that. Other times we try to do that, but it just doesn't come through. And today was one of those times that, we were attacking and everything was falling into place.
Micah, you guys talk about the same every week, but a game like today where the offense does it, you guys do it, turnovers. Did you need a game like today over a long stretch of 17 games? Did you need a game where everybody just does what they did today?
We needed a win. If that's what you're asking, it doesn't matter how we get it. You know what I'm saying? We want to win, and it was, our backs were against the wall, I guess. After last week, it was a tough loss, and we wanted to go out here and get a win today. Whether if it was a 9-6 game, us winning, or the final outcome of today, we wanted to get a win, and hopefully that can get the ball rolling.
Jordan, I know you're not one to sort of reflect on the season as a whole. You kind of take it game by game, week by week. But, with maybe the possible exception of the Tennessee game, this defense has consistently, performed at a really high level this season. How would you sort of assess where you guys are halfway through the year right now?
I mean, you never want to feel and be complacent. Obviously there's a lot of things that we can do better, and we want to keep refining those things and continue to get better. What's Frazier always say, you never want to peak early September, October, November. Time to peak is late November, December games. And that's just, basically just saying keep getting better. And I tell you guys every single week, win or loss, draw, we go into the film tomorrow, we watch the tape, we can make our corrections. We're all grown men about it, win, lose, or draw, and we move forward. And that's just what this team has done in our wins and our losses. And that's just what we're going to continue to do. We're not complacent. We want to continue to get better. We got a lot of work to do, a lot of football games to be played, so we got to keep working.
Mike, anything you guys saw, watching the film of Mike White that you thought you could expose, and maybe throw anything at him that you thought maybe surprised him?
All right, just another thing we say every week. Once you put the quarterback in pass situations, you try to affect him, eyes, feet, arm. You try to affect him any way you can, and with a guy that doesn't have a ton of experience, playing against some defense in this league, you want to try to mix it up, make it sticky for him, and putting them in passing situations and letting our guys up front go eat, and our guys on the back end, lock up and try to get tight coverage on the receivers. We knew if we were able to do that, then it was going to be a good day for us.
Mike, can you please walk us through the forced fumble that you had at the end of the first half? Corey Davis has that long catch. Looks like he's putting them right in field goal range. How big of a momentum swing?
Just one of those plays we preach all the time. Whenever you're around the football, obviously, you're making the tackle, but you always go after the football. And so, that's what I tried to do, and was, able to get it out. We like I said, we practice that a lot. Each and every play of practice, you got Jay Pope punching at the football, and those offensive guys hate it because we punching them all the time. We hate it because our wrists and knuckles are all messed up from it. But that's what we preach, and so I was able to do that today.
You
guys in 9 games have only allowed 6 points in the first quarter the whole season. What is it about coming out of the locker room immediately and being able to kind of put your fingerprint on the game?
Start fast, man. We preach it all the time. Start fast. Offense go out there, put some points up, and defense get some stops. And I feel like at the end of the game, though, we didn't execute to our ability. We gave us some stuff on, give them some first downs on penalties, which that's what hurt us last week. We can't continue to do that. So, even though the outcome of the game was what it was, we still got a lot to build off of.
Jordan, when you had the interception, did you realize that all 5 of you had then forced some sort of?
Yeah, that boy knew it.
Yeah, I knew I was the only one that didn't have one yet, so I had to figure out a way to go get one. Thank you, Mike White, for giving us 5.
Howdy.
Much different press conference this Sunday. How much fun is it, though, to bounce back in with a performance like that offensively when things just click right away?
It was a tough week like I had talked about last week, kind of pointing inwards. Guys did that from top to bottom, players and staff. And I think the big thing was just how pivotal of a moment that was as a team. You run into adversity every year, and believe me, we're going to run into more. It was a great way to grow. Of course, we didn't want to lose that game, but we came in with a great mindset into the work week, and the coaches put us in a great position offensively, and the defense did a fantastic job of getting some turnovers, and we played complementary football. I think last week we weren't able to do that, and that showed. And much better feeling. Still some work to do, but a very tough divisional opponent. To be able to come out with a win in MetLife is it's great.
Mitch, we spent a lot of time this week, talking to your teammates and your coaches about being more effective in the run game. And albeit it's one game, but did you see your team turn a corner a little bit with that area today?
Yeah, I think you prefaced it the proper way. It's one game. But yeah, you definitely want to take that step in the right direction. I think there was still some yards we left on the field. But it's a great way to progress. We'll learn from our mistakes today in the run game. It was a great opportunity to mix it up a little bit, and hopefully we can continue to run effectively so that they can have some confidence in us being able to accumulate some yards and put us in some optimal positions instead of some second and longs or third and longs.
What did Matt Breida show you? I mean, it's been a while since he was active on game day, and to contribute the way he did, what were your impressions of his game?
Yeah, Matt's one of my favorite dudes. Comes into work, probably hasn't played as much as he'd like, but he's a fantastic teammate and runs hard. And we see that in practice, and we see that in the preseason. We've seen that in the games he's been active. And love Matt Breida. Love all of our running backs. We feel very comfortable with who we have back there. Sometimes we mess up, and our running backs do a great job of making us right. So that was fun.
Spencer Brown had a couple of big blocks, pancake-type blocks on the runs. He's a young guy, but what does he bring to you guys when he's back in the lineup?
He's just so full of youthful vigor. Spencer Brown is going to be a special football player. I think as a rookie, there's always stuff to learn from, minor things, some big, some, part of it comes with just experience. The guy hadn't played football last year, and now he's coming in and stepping in a pretty big position, and I thought he's played admirably. He's got poise beyond his years as a rookie. I'm sure like everyone he'd say there's plenty to work on, right? But we feel very comfortable with who we have as an offensive line, and Spencer Brown being back in the lineup definitely helps. But not to say that other guys can't step in and do that job. Spencer's been really playing good football, and hopefully we can all continue to grow, especially him.
What's it like in a week like that where, as a group, I mean, you guys put it on yourselves a lot last week. I mean, we talked to you on Sunday, and then, throughout the week, a couple of you guys. What's that process like when you're part of a team and it feels like maybe you're kind of owning a lot of the brunt of the responsibility for it?
I mean, no one grows up wanting to be an offensive lineman, right? We've been disappointed our whole football career, starting from when we were Pee Wee players. That being said, I think anyone who watched the film last week knows that, as professionals, no matter what's being called, you take pride in executing what the coordinators put out there. So there was no pointing fingers on play calls as much as it was when your number's called, you have to execute, and we didn't do a very good job of that. And, there's still some things even today plenty to correct, and it's a beautiful part of this game. Yeah, it's very frustrating as well. But when you give Josh time, when you give running backs lanes, they can make stuff happen. When we don't, that's when negative plays happen, and that's when it puts us in 3rd and longs, and Lord knows these defenses now are just dialing up some insane stuff that's pretty hard to block. So for us, it's just putting our offense in more it's just in better positions.
Not really too fair. A lot of the responsibility, not a lot of the glory. But I guess that's tale as old as time.
Yeah, tale as old as time, pal. That's okay. That's all right.
Mitch, not to belabor last week, but you used the word sense of urgency after the Jacksonville loss. Does all of kind of what you just described, how did that apply today? Does that translate?
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like football seasons is just one big sense of urgency. This is this one thing this team does. There has to be a sense of urgency if they're exploiting something. So say right now we're not blocking games well enough. There's a sense of urgency to clean that up, to keep our quarterback clean. So, I think if we wanted to, like I said before, if we want the play callers to have confidence in calling runs per se, there's a sense of urgency to make these things hit. And it's not always going to be pretty. Sometimes it's just about effort. And so we did a lot of soul searching last week. And there's still a sense of urgency for sure, because we have a lot of football left and some great opponents. Thank you all.
Anybody got questions or?
Levi Wallace, 5 turnovers for the secondary today. Jordan joked that he felt at the end like he had to come out here and get one just to be a part of the party. I mean, how well are you guys playing, and how good is a performance like this feel?
I think today we played some good overall team defense. I think, we're always striving for that. I think that's kind of like our standard each and every week, to create turnovers. And, we're joking on silent with Poe, and I told him that his was coming next, and ultimately he did, so I was happy for him.
You think you guys have ever been a part of a game like that at any level where everyone in the secondary had a turnover?
I mean, I haven't personally. I mean, I don't know I don't know how many teams have done that. To be honest, that's crazy to happen. I mean, we're still processing it, trying to figure out what all just happened. I mean, it's kind of surreal, but we had a good time. I think it's we're the best group, and we're all out there having fun.
What did you guys see watching film of Mike White? You know, he had the great game against the Bengals, and, you know, there was kind of a buzz around here about him. Was there anything that you guys were able to do specifically against him?
I feel like we just played our game. You know, he's had some success in the past. The coaches came up with a good game plan. I feel like we executed, and when we had the opportunity to take the ball away, we did it.
You guys talked about it all week about A.J. Klein and his ability to step up. I mean, how impressive was his performance today?
I mean, great. He ran the defense, you know what I'm saying, just as if Tremaine was out there. So, I mean, I feel like that's the story of our season all the time, especially that's the story with our defense all the time, you know. One guy goes down, we have another guy come right back, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's no drop-off, you know, and we're very blessed to have that on this team.
Levi, you guys always stay even every week, but did you notice a difference this week in the way guys prepared, the way the guys acted anyway? Did you notice anything different in the whole team, maybe from the end of last week into coming into today?
I think, you know, just having that bad taste in our mouth from last week, not performing to our standard, you know, it kind of put a little bit more urgency in our preparation. And I can only speak on the defense. I think we set out to just going over last week. We didn't get enough turnovers and give the offense more opportunities. So I think that was one of our main focuses this week, to give offense more chances to score points, and try to make the other team one-dimensional, make them throw the ball, which continues to create turnovers. So like Terrence said, the coaches did a great job and gave us a great game plan. We went out there and tried to execute as best as we could.
Taryn, the defense has only allowed 6 points in the first quarter all season, so 9 games, 6 points in the first quarter. Is there something about that coming out of the locker room to start the game that the defense wants to put their fingerprint on the game immediately?
I mean, I just feel like it comes to, I mean, we've been playing with each other for a while now, you know. We got that camaraderie, that chemistry, and it just helps us go out there and be ready when the time comes. And us just being around each other all the time, that helps, and hopefully we continue doing that.
Was there one thing you guys were trying to take away from them?
I'm sorry?
Was there one thing you guys were trying to take away from them? You know, they had some success with underneath stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think coming to the game, we knew that Mike White was a really good passer, a lot of quick game, and didn't make too many bad decisions. So we tried to come up with some different looks and try to confuse him a little bit. And he's still a pretty accurate passer. You know, he started driving the ball down a couple times on us, and you know, they did a great job at coming out after halftime too. You know, being able to be a little bit more successful. So we had a great game plan, like I said, and I think we just got to work on finishing a little bit better. I think me personally, I didn't like being out there just letting them score towards the end of the game. You know, we got to finish teams, and I think that's in Sean's message as well.
Did you confuse White a little bit at times?
I'm sorry?
Do you think you confused White at times with some of your coverages?
I mean, yeah, that's a question for him, honestly. I think we just try to do as best as we could, trying to make things look a little different. And there's a lot of self-scout, too, being self-aware of how we play teams in the past and things that we've done before, too. So.
What, if anything, did Micah Hyde's forced fumble at the end of the first half do for you guys in terms of, you know, picking a field goal attempt away from them or setting the tone? I mean, what kind of an effect did that play have?
It's a huge play. That was a huge play. I mean, I feel like that really swayed the game and really put us in a position to run away with it. So, I mean, I feel like that was the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, I think offense, I think they just scored a field goal or maybe a touchdown right before that. And then they had a long play until Micah stripped that out, which ended up in no points, and the offense went out after halftime and scored again. So we double-dipped. And then even Stradavius' interception after that was another great play, big play in the game. So hats off to those two guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
As you're finding new ways to get as close to the quarterback as possible and not get a sack, I mean, how good did that one feel, even though it wasn't one of those? It was a huge play.
It's just the next play, you know. I don't know what's going on, bro. It seems like the harder I rush, the more they say, nope, you can't have it. Nope, you can't have it. So I don't know. I just keep rushing and keep rushing as a unit, keep playing hard.
When you guys found out this morning that Star was going to be out, what was that like, and did it add any extra chaos to the morning getting ready for the game?
Nah, you know, like, just the way we built, like, we rotate D linemen all the time, and so even the FA, they brought FA up, I think, and like FA came out there and had a sack, so you know what I'm saying? So just the way we built is like everybody can play. So we so deep on the D line, especially everybody can play. So it was no panicking. It was more so somebody else gets an opportunity, you know. So and I know FA was glad to have that opportunity with Star being down. So he definitely took advantage of it.
And you know, sack or not, I think you hit the quarterback 3 times. Do you feel like you're playing some of maybe the best football of your career at this point?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm playing at a high level. I feel like the defense as a whole playing at a high level, so if we can just continue that, we'll be all right.
AJ, when we talked to a couple guys this week, Ed included, about Tremaine being out, they all didn't skip a beat. You know, we got AJ, he'll come in and won't be any drop-off. How much does that mean to you to have the confidence of your teammates in that?
It means a lot from the guys. I hope that on a week-to-week basis, my preparation, what I do in practice, and when I get the opportunity to play, how I do play, gives those guys confidence in me. So it means a lot because I just try to do my best to help this team win. And whether it's playing Will, Mike, special teams, whatever it is, I know what my role is. So that means a lot.
AJ, has it been tough for you? I mean, you have not really played a lot since Matt was out, a few weeks ago. Week to week, not knowing exactly what your role will be, at least defensively. What's that been like for you to go through that?
Personally, I mean, I think the coaches do a good job of rotating me in throughout the week in multiple positions and just make sure I'm prepared, whether it's, like I said, whether it's Mike, Will, and just being very open and direct with me of what the role is going to be week to week, and that helps me in my preparation. So,
Getting a look at playing in front of him today, he said feels like he's playing some of the best ball of his career. I mean, how impressive is what he's been able to do the last couple of weeks?
He is playing. He not only is he playing great gap sound defense, he's also making big plays, whether it's hits on the quarterbacks, TFLs. We ask those D linemen to do a lot, and obviously our defense, it runs off of those guys. So when they could go out there and have a day like he did today and in the past weeks, our entire defense feeds off of it, and it shows up in the back seven. Obviously, we 4 picks and 1 forced fumble. I mean, that's a testament to our D line getting after the quarterback.
AJ, how crazy to be part of a game where every member of the secondary each had 1 turnover today?
No, that's. I don't think I've been a part of a team that's had each member get a turnover. And the crazy part is we left another probably 2 out there. I had mine on the early in the game, and I know Matt got his hand on the ball. So it just shows that what we're doing in practice is translating to the field on game day. So we just got to keep that rolling. We got to get our turnovers back up, and when we play well as a defense, we win. So.
All right, thanks, John.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, we'll open up to your questions.
Sean, when you guys learned this morning that Star was going to be out, what was that process like, and did it add any extra chaos to the morning, like right before the game like that?
Yeah, a little bit. It's interesting. Last year we tested every day, and I don't think we ended up having any positives on game day. We had quite a few of ours last year, the day before the game, day before the trip, or the day of the trip. But first time in my recollection that I can remember having one on game day, the morning of. So, we hope Star gets better and quickly. Not ideal, but I'm real proud of the way the guys responded. The defensive line, the defense, everyone, the staff went into action pretty swiftly there. Kevin Meegang, Nate Bresky, Brandon Bean, all the people that helped out did a great job.
Sean, you were pretty open about needing a running game. Did you feel like you challenged your offense? And if so, Were you pretty happy with how they responded
Yeah, I
today?
thought Brian Dable called a great game. I really did, and changed the look, enough, and changed the profile of the offense, and I thought that was well executed, and good to get Steph going there, and he gives us a ton of energy,
So many big offensive games over the last couple of years, but this kind of game, when you're running it and you keep doing it, what's that do for a team?
Well, just ask an offensive lineman what that does, right? It's good for all of us. It's good for the entire football team, and it was fun to watch. It really was. The running backs making plays, offensive line helping us make plays in the running game, and then getting the ball up in the air a couple times to some really good receivers, and then hitting the tight ends. I mean, it was a good game plan, as I said, by the offensive staff and Brian, and then Brian went and called a heck of a game.
Do you remember a game when every starting member of the secondary had a takeaway? Do you remember anything like that?
I don't know. They probably know, those guys in there. But yeah, just I thought the one that Trey got was high level stuff there in terms of really just playing, his role in the defense, doing his job, and being where he was supposed to be. And that's always when you do that and you see the execution, that's always fun to watch.
I had mentioned that there's doesn't seem like whatever he does, it's like he's almost at the sack week after week after week. He's been joking with Trey this week about it. How much have you been impressed with the way that he's played, even though that sack maybe hasn't come yet?
You talking about Ed? Oh yeah. Very, very happy with the way he's developing, with room to go still, and I think he senses that. He's seeing the fruits of his labor, the fruits of his approach, and the work that he's putting in. He's seeing it pay off, and when you're bringing a young player along, that's exciting and fun to watch at the same time.
Sean, how much did the experience of last week, the week of preparation, whatever went on internally, how did all that kind of translate into what we saw on the field today, particularly on the offensive?
Well, I mean, it wasn't just, those conversations weren't just specific to one side of the ball or the other. It was our entire team. And I really appreciate the leadership on our football team. I thought they did a great job this week leading at that level. And that's great. That's a big part of it. We need that every week moving forward. And so I just think, at the end of the day, you try and define the reality of our situation and where we were and how we got there and where we need to go and what the vision is going forward. And some of those are encouraging conversations. Some are, matter of fact and truth-filled conversations. And so I think that's the right balance.
Sean, you mentioned Stephon Diggs and the energy he brings to the offense. Just kind of follow up on that. When he gets going like he did today, how much does that put the other team's defense really on their heels?
Yeah, well, probably a better question for them, honestly, Josh. But he's an elite receiver for a reason, and let's not forget about E on the other side and what Cole did in the game, and then you bring Isaiah in and Gabe. I mean, that was again fun to watch. All 5 guys, maybe there was more, but I thought Gabe Davis made some huge plays for us as well.
Your defense has allowed 6 points in the first quarter all season. What is it about when you guys come out of the locker room to start a game about kind of putting your fingerprint on things right away?
Again, I think that give the defensive staff credit. Leslie Frazier has them ready to go. They come up with a good plan, and the players seem to understand the plan early in the game, which is critical to play well early in the football game. So. But again, it's all 3 phases working together, because some of those are, offense is possessing the football, or today you saw the defense go 3 and out field position. I think another 3 and out or a takeaway field position. So that complementary piece has to continue to thrive for us.
What changed for you guys with AJ replacing Tremaine?
I don't think much, really, just in terms of the way we called the game, the way we shaped the game plan. Listen, we need and want Tremaine out there. He's one of our leaders, one of our captains, and and has played a lot of good football for us this season. So, I think what you saw out there was AJ, a lot of trust and faith in AJ, and he's a good football player.
Sean, obviously you guys put Spencer Brown into the lineup for a reason when you did. What did you maybe miss when the last couple of weeks when he was out, and I know you like to watch the film on O-linemen, but, can you give an early assessment maybe of what you thought he had today?
I can tell you, Jay, that I sensed an intensity and an energy from him. And that's as best I can tell you right now. And then we ran the ball, I thought, effectively, in particular in the second half, mostly I think in the third quarter. Again, a young player. Let's not put him in the Hall of Fame yet. Okay, please help me with that. He's a young player that has to continue to learn what it takes to play in this league, and he knows that. And that humble and hungry approach, man, is real, and we need to carry that forward next week. So.
Gold Jackets, Matt Breida, had a really good game. A guy that hasn't seen a lot of playing time this year. What did you see from him?
Yeah, he gave us a spark, I felt. I thought the receivers, what I could tell, blocked well too. On the perimeter, some of those perimeter runs that we had spread throughout the backs. That takes wide receivers blocking, which to me is a very unselfish trait, and that'll go a long way for our team and getting Matt in some of those runs and giving us a spark like he did. We got to do a better job protecting the ball. I didn't like the way we finished the game. So we'll work on that next week.
Sean, how much had you planned on using Breida independent of Moss's situation with his injury? Meaning, how much did that weigh into whether or not Breida dressed today, or how much?
Yeah, he was going to be in the plan. It was just a matter of how much. So at the end of the day, it was he's up, he's active for the game, and again, I thought Dave's caught a great game in terms of getting him the ball in different ways. So, so he was in the game plan.
Even though just one catch, Dawson Knox's influence just being on the field as somebody that the Jets have to worry about. What did you see from that?
He completes our offense just in terms of his role and what he means to Josh, and love his unselfish approach as well. He's one of the guys that is well liked, on offense, defense, and special teams because of the energy he brings, and not only the player he is, but the energy he brings and how unselfish he is in his approach.
I saw Isaiah come in right before the game, kind of gather up the receivers and gave some type of speech. How much has he evolved as a leader? I mean, we think of him as the jokester, right? Isaiah McKenzie, yeah. But how much has he evolved as kind of a leader, as a guy in the room that has the respect of his teammates?
Yeah, we've got him, from Denver 3 years ago now. Was it off on waivers or no? Yeah. Practice squad. And, you look at how far he has come as a person. He's always been a good person, but just how far he's come in his maturity, how he's developed off the field, and then how he's developed on the field. And I'm just extremely proud of him. I really am. It's you love when you see a person like that have success. He's part of the reason why we are who we are. Just in terms of his story, you guys should look into his story a little deeper. He hasn't come from much, but he's offered so much to our football team.
Did he come out okay? He was banged up at the end there.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Nate. I believe so.
Gotcha.
So we're talking about intensity from whether it be McKenzie here or that anecdote or Spencer Brown, all the different things. It's hard. You can't manufacture it, but what did you try to do in the week leading up to this game after what happened last Sunday in terms of trying to get these guys to flip that switch? There is such a thing. I know that in the sports psychology of it, you think about that a lot. What about that aspect of the approach?
Yeah, I just felt, Tim, that really they did it. It wasn't anything I did, they did it. And it was led by the leaders. So.
Sean, you fared well in the red zone today. How encouraging was that, your success?
That's
inside
big.
the 20-yard line? Yeah,
it's big. You got to do that. I thought we struggled. I think we had another opportunity or two in the first quarter maybe to go up with a wider margin at that point. So red zone plays an important role every week, and I was glad to see us do what we did this week.
How much do you think Isaiah can help you in that regard? You saw what he did on the jet sweep. Is that something you want to see more of maybe?
It's just, again, that was great game planning by the offensive staff. So whatever the situation calls for, whatever they think is the right formula, that's what they're going to do.
Last one, what Micah and Jordan mean for this team, not only their
their play on the field, but their leadership?
Yeah, huge for me, for our team. I mean, every ship needs a rudder, right, in terms of to steer it where it needs to be, where it needs to go, and those guys do a phenomenal job, as well as some others here for us and for me. So it certainly helps out a lot. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Mackenzie was waivers on practice.
That's the last person to say that.
Obviously a big game.